You write in the book, there is no faith and no courage and no sacrifice in doing what is expedient. What do you say to those viewers that don't pursue their dreams and are locked in their careers because they are too afraid to take risks and pursue something meaningful?
Well, the first thing I would say is, well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. You're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking.
Yeah,
and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
But isn't it a luxury to pursue what is meaningful? Our viewers have mortgages, they have children,
Yeah.
they have payments and loans. It's a luxury to pursue because we lack the resources.
Well, I don't remember now, I'm not talking about what makes you happy. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It might require sacrifice. If you need to change your job too, let's say you have a family and children and a mortgage, you have responsibilities. You've already picked up those responsibilities. You don't just get to walk away scot-free and say, well, I don't like my job, I quit. That's no strategy. But what you might have to do is you think, well, this job is killing my soul. All right, so what do I have to do about that? Well, I have to look for another job. Well, no one wants to hire me. It's like, okay, maybe you need to educate yourself more. Maybe you need to update your curriculum vitae, your resume. Maybe you need to overcome your fear of being interviewed. Maybe you need to sharpen your social skills. Like, you have to think about these things strategically. If you're going to switch careers, you have to do it like an intelligent, responsible person. That might take you a couple of years of effort to do properly. We're built for struggle, us human beings. We're built to contend with the world. We're built to contend with reality. You want a challenge, and the best way that you can take on a challenge, because a challenge fortifies you. So you don't want to be secure, you want to be strong. And you get strong by taking on optimal challenges. And so you lay out your destiny in the world, and you take the slings and arrows of fate, and you make yourself stronger while you're doing so. And you might fail, and fortune might do you in. But it's your best bet. And you know, people have extracted unbelievable successes out of catastrophic failures. And I'm not saying that in a naive way. I know perfectly well what happens to people. You know, you're doing fine in life and then you get cancer, and then 6 months later you're dead. And all the heroism in the world isn't going to save you at that point. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Life is bounded by mortality. But that doesn't mean that you don't get out there and contend, and you develop by contending, and you minimize the net amount of suffering in the world. And that's something, man. That's something to do.
Look, I'm exhausted. Had it all figured out and I lost it. They say that's the cost, but it just feels like a lot. Stop, are you going or not? I miss certainty. Miss the 9 to 5s, knowing exactly where I need to be and why I'm not built for this. Progress moves in slow motion. They're out making money and getting promotions, saying all the right things, pulling all the right levers, while I sit here, write my future self love letters. Who's winning? Is this the end or beginning? 'Cause I'm starting to feel like reality's slipping, and bank accounts, they aren't very forgiving, and life on edge feels like falling, not living. If effort brings victory, what am I missing? Nothing good comes easy. When we have to, we push through, not knowing completely. You're here because you're made for this next level, taking these places that most people won't. Start embracing it. Who cares what they do? They're not you. You'll go through more now than you think you're supposed to, but that shows you can cope with the highs and the lows, because you rose to be more. Could've run away, could've avoided the thorns, could've been comfortable. Blood, sweat, and tears, they're expendable. No more pretending, man, build something memorable. Don't drink from their cup or by stories they tell, 'cause when all their time's up, you'll have dug your own well. You did it. Use lifelines, you're topped off for a lifetime. So drop all those one-liners, we'll get them next time. No, this time is your time, and whatever you decide will end up being real life. No stop signs, just storylines. This whole thing is a misunderstanding, a miscalculation. Jumped and missed the landing. I'm mystified, I can waste so much time. These ovations are strictly imagination, not standing. So much for planning, guess fate left without me. Those failure statistics, yeah, they'll be about me. Was overly optimistic, forgot the logistics. Guess we all learn sometime, don't we? Good is not good enough. No, how long do I stay down before I let go? I buried my pride and took it inside, but never enough. It takes a toll, it gets old getting told you've got miles of road left to go. You're alone with this future unknown, just go home. Just go home, it's safe there. Yeah, I'll find some embrace there. Look, it's time to admit defeat. A humble retreat, check the box and complete to my core. Intrinsically, it's not for me, I can't do this. I knew this is how it would be. No fame, no fortune, no names on marquees. Just running in place every day on repeat. This is the world I wanna see, where everything's taken with no guarantees. No. Come on, man, pick your head up. Go back inside, half a life's learning to get up. How can I make you see that you have everything you need, and what you want to be is never out of reach? Fate deceives sometimes, but destiny's calling, so can't let the phone ring. You know there's no all-knowing. Go level up, no letdowns. Let the world in, push fear out. It's self-belief, it starts right now. When hell freezes, you lay down. Until then, it's your town, it's your story, it's your crown. Live in the clouds, feet on the ground. They stand still, you run around. Go mesmerize, where they socialize. There's dollar signs to be maximized. If you live it right, regret nothing. Loud applause, the sweetest sounding. This moment won't happen again, and never becomes forever unless you choose to begin. So see greatness in each step, and power in progress. Your future, yeah, that's limitless, it's infinite. Don't forget you want this.
The champ is here! 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 The champ.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we see the market is totally red today. The Dow Jones is down, the Nasdaq is down, S&P 500 is down, the FTSE is down, the Nikkei is down. Look, the CAC, the French CAC is also down. FTSE, as I said, the Shanghai, basically everything is down. Dollar is actually, I saw earlier, it was up. Look, I'm still in favor of the US dollar. The US dollar actually traded quite okay, I would say. It's up by 0.06. That is now on the dollar index. And New Zealand dollar is battling an Australian dollar. Basically, your commodity currencies, the Australian, New Zealand, Canada is struggling against actually against the dollar. And then you have the crude oils is down. The Brent is down 2%. It's actually down. Damn it. Also, the gold is actually also down by nearly 1%. Silver is down by 2.5%. And look, as the market actually pushed out a flurry of news out of the European Union and also out of the UK. And that is now the manufacturing data that came out, the services PMIs that came out, also out of Germany it came out. But obviously, that the market could have expected that because of the tougher lockdown regulations that went into the UK and also that went into the European Union. So that was expected that those numbers will come out bad because of the tougher regulations, especially from your service side economy. But I will go through that. But just to give you a hint, so is the story also the very important letter that Janet Yellen was actually sending to actually President Biden. Actually, she sings the praises of the former president, I would say, Donald Trump, where she must, she said that President Joe Biden needs to become tougher on China. Now, that for me, that letter was the letter that actually sent the market into red, because she actually put out quite a lot of things in this letter, and which I will share you, and it's actually the opposite of what Joe Biden wants to do. I personally don't understand why Biden elected Janet Yellen. Honestly, I don't know. She's a trained economist. I'm not saying she's not incapable of doing her work. The thing is, she's an economist. And obviously, she will just do things to the book. You could see it on the Federal Reserve. If interest rates was not strong enough, according to her, she will not raise that interest rates. If she saw enough evidence of inflation that was fairly high up over the 2% margin, then she would lift up the interest rates. She was very slow of lifting up the interest rates because she was very highly data dependent. I personally don't know what the hell she's doing in the Joe Biden cabinet, because they are just a bunch of crooks. Totally just a bunch of crooks. These guys want to deal with China and all of those things. And I don't know why they have Janet Yellen in there. And she also was, during the Federal Reserve, she was putting hints out about currency manipulations from China. So I personally don't understand why they selected Janet Yellen in. They could have selected another crook. I mean, the whole bloody Democrats is full of crooks. Why didn't they put maybe Bill Clinton in there? Maybe that would have helped. But let's get serious. So the UK numbers, are just going to go over that. The UK manufacturing numbers came out not so bad. The previous was at 57.5. It came out at 52.6. Services PMI, which is also the UK strong engine, services PMI, it was 49.4, that was previous, and then it came out 38.8. That was shit news, that. The services industry in the UK is actually a massive industry. It's actually bigger than the manufacturing industry. So to have a services PMI come out like this, it is bad news. And also on the EU side, EU is more of your industrial side or manufacturing side, but the services PMI is also carrying a lot of weight. Services PMI was 49 points. It came out 47.5, which is a contraction territory. Also manufacturing, which is your strong German and Italian manufacturing, but that also was in contraction territory at 46.4, and then that was now previous, and then today's number came out at 45. German services PMI also fall quite heavily from 47 to 46.8. Not so heavily, but it's in contraction territory. So that's why the European stocks were in the red, and also you also have your equities also in the red, and then also you have your currencies that was in the red. But I saw the euro actually recovered quite slightly. Also the British pound is in the red, but the euro actually recovered quite nicely on. But I think that the market will see red for the whole entire day, because things are not so well, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in the United States. I think the story is really not well. And as I said in the beginning of this year, we will see the after effects of all this horrible lockdown regulations that is now coming to the surface for 2021. And that's why I said also in a previous podcast that it will be heaven on earth if you are a trader and know your story. And that's why I also created a 2-year plan for you, which you can register on, because believe me, I think we will actually make quite a lot of profits this year and also next year. It will be very straightforward, what I can say, because everything is moving back to 2012, and shit is going to go down. I'm sorry to say it, but shit is going to go down, and the markets will definitely tank. There's no way amount of stimulus will work here, because the policies that Joe Biden took is actually terrible policies. And also one of the Senates, I think it's McConley or something like that is his surname, he said we're going in the wrong direction. But a stupid idiot, he was the one against Trump. When Joe Biden was signing off that bunch of executive orders, the thing is that he now complained afterwards to say now, oh, we are going in the wrong direction. I mean, what the hell you expect? You took a bloody crook into your office. You didn't stand up for Trump. What do you expect? You are obviously an idiot who's sitting there who is friends with China, actually in bed with the Chinese. That's fucking pathetic, those guys. But anyway, he said now the market is going in the wrong directions. But the main thing is this letter that was sent to Joe Biden, where the new secretary, treasurer, or not secretary, the new treasurer is saying to Joe Biden that they need to get tougher on China. That is the nice story. I think that letter packed the market down because there is now conflict between the two, which is now Janet Yellen and also Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden is expected to go back on the Trans-Pacific deal. Now, I don't know why he wants that deal back. The deal is gone. Trump destroyed the deal. It was a terrible deal, and Trump was right. Because the problem was there, all the manufacturing is going to the Asians. And look, I have nothing against the Asians, but all the manufacturing is going that side. And now all that manufacturing jobs in the United States, it's gone. So I don't understand why he wants to go back to the Trans-Pacific deal. The deal is gone. He should just leave it alone. But the idiot don't know otherwise. He only knows what happened under Barack Obama. Is literally what we are facing now is Barack Obama times 2. That is what we are facing now. Now, Janet Yellen is actually pushing out in the stimulus package a $700 billion for small businesses and to get businesses back, right? That is what she said. But on the other side, the bloody idiot wants to introduce minimum wages of $15 an hour. And also, he actually gave special privileges to the bloody unions. Now, you can't do one thing, like the president is doing one thing, and then you have the treasurer doing totally something else. Now, in South Africa, we understand the treasurer as the finance minister. But the finance minister is doing totally something else because she wants to get the economy running, because it's no use for her to give all that money in loans or guarantees or whatever to small businesses, but then you come up with a story of minimum wage. And on top of that, you want to get the Trans-Pacific deal back where all the manufacturing jobs are going to the Asians. It doesn't make sense. What Janet Yellen was saying is that the Chinese actually is ripping off American companies because they're dumping off, it's exactly the same words what Donald Trump was saying. But it's funny, I need to dig deep now for this information. It's supposed to be all over the show as the last time with Trump. If Trump just says something bad, it would have been all over the TV, all over the internet, everywhere, but nothing, absolutely nothing. But the thing is, she actually said these guys are just dumping the stuff, and actually she admitted by saying that Trump was right to get tough on China. Well. They are dumping stuff in the United States. The intellectual property, they don't respect that whole entire story. And then this idiot, that is what Janet Yellen was saying, then this idiot want the United States back on the World Trade. Trump actually stopped that World Trade Organization because they did a terrible job because they didn't track China. And he actually stated that, Donald Trump, that these guys are in favor of China. So that's why he actually said, no, these guys are useless. He will rather do the deals himself. I absolutely agree with that. Now, Janet Yellen wants actually small businesses up, get minimum wages down or totally away, which Trump did, so that Americans can produce the stuff much cheaper and keep the made in United States brand alive. But no, you can't have... What the problem is here, politicians are living in their own fucking world, honestly speaking. Especially these career politicians. They are totally far away from reality. Some of them never went to university, surely the majority of them, but go straight from university straight to bloody politics. So which means they don't know, they don't understand real life. You can't have minimum wages and compete with China. Janet Yellen also put it out that the Chinese is using unfair labor practices in China, which is true because there's a lot of information there that actually said that China is actually abusing a certain group actually for slaves, and these people have to work serious amount of hours, and that's why the Chinese products are so cheap. And that is why Trump also enforced actually sanctions on them. That's why Trump actually delisted, I think it was a telecommunication company from the New York Stock Exchange, and he wanted to delist quite a lot of them because of their unfair practices in China, because they abuse people's rights there, and then wants to sell those products to the rest of the world. And Trump wanted to put a hold on that. But no, Joe Biden wants to go back to the Trans-Pacific deal, which is totally gone, and have a good relationship with the Chinese, because he said the trade wars just can't continue. What the hell is this? So you have your treasurer speaking one language, and then you have your president talking a total other language, a totally true communist style that's going on. Actually, that is what normally happens with communism and socialism. Nobody's looking eye to eye at each other at the end. I don't think Janet Yellen will last long. I personally don't think so. Because she wants to be tougher on China, because what they do is unfair practices, and she agreed on this article with all Donald Trump stuff. Although she didn't say it, but I could see that all the things that Trump was saying, the unfair practices, the World Trade Organization, the intellectual properties, all of those things, she actually mentioned, and was exactly the same as what Trump was saying. Exactly the same. Obviously, she can't now say, I agree with Donald Trump, otherwise she will get fired tomorrow morning. We all know that, because that sick idiot is like that, which is Joe Biden. But the letter is what actually pushed the market down. Now, this will definitely be a temporary effect on the market. I think the market will be down for today, and I think unless over the weekend something bad is happening, then would continue on its downward trend. But there is a fight between Yellen and Joe Biden, because Joe Biden is totally, what I can see from his policies, is totally not in line of what is coming from Janet Yellen. And that's why she was sending this email through, because she wants to recover the economy, and this guy wants to sign useless deals with the Chinese and also with other Asian countries. China is definitely wrong with unfair practices in China and selling us cheap products where slaves were basically building these products. It is terrible, it is immoral, and the Chinese Communist government is wrong, and it was right from Trump to delist these companies. Also, Trump did, on the 11th hour, delisted, I think, 2 telecom companies from China because of unfair labor practices in China. Now, what is said is that the World Trade Organization don't pick these things up. I don't know what these guys are doing there. I honestly don't know. They are supposed to be the people that look after trade, so that trade is fair towards countries, but they do absolutely nothing. Now, Joe Biden wants to get back to that communist World Trade Organization, which doesn't make sense. Now, I think there will be a lot of infighting between Janet Yellen, and we can expect more fireworks from them. Just for signals for today, I think the dollar will perform quite strong against all major currencies. I think the market will go further into red with all this bad news from today, with the PMI numbers that were terrible across the European nations and also in the UK, and also the letter of Janet Yellen that wants actually tougher rules against China with their unfair practices. Also, for you guys, thank you for registering on the FXTM account. I did pick it up, and we can start classes very soon. Also, I left my WhatsApp number and Telegram number on the description of the podcast. So please, if you guys want classes, you just have to register on that link so that I can pick you up, and then you just fund your account with $100 or more, and then I can start with the classes for you absolutely free of charge. So please don't hesitate to get into the classes so that we can start working. It will be actually a very good year for trading if you have all the experience necessary to assist you. So that is it from my side. Have a lovely weekend, and then I will see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.
The champ is here! The champ is here!